How is the COVID situation heightening like people's,
Yes.
yeah, mental health and just stress in general?
Yeah, 100%. Like, it's the statistics are just going up and up, really. I think it's global though, isn't it? It's not even just like like it's everywhere. Everyone is, being isolated is not good for anyone. No human being should be isolated, locked at home. And for lots of people, they're on their own. They live on their own. They don't have housemates or they live away from family. Um, so it's definitely a massive factor. And for young people also to not be able to see their friends, like for us here, there's lots of our cities are going back into proper lockdown where you can't leave your house apart from like going to get your groceries. And to not be, I remember as a teenager, like hanging out at the park or doing, going to youth, or I don't know, that was like your lifeline, wasn't it? Hanging out with your friends. And when you're not able to do that, I think that affects people massively. So yeah, I can definitely see, and just people, how people are in general. I think people are just low, super low,
Yeah.
um,
What
everywhere. Yeah.
were you were you planning a tour or anything that got canceled? Like what would you have been doing if it weren't for COVID?
Yes. So I was on the roadshow tour
Okay.
in March and April. So we were 4 days in, and then it all got cancelled. So we're like, woo. Um, so that was a bit of a bummer. And I literally just released my album, so it was like, okay, here we go, album year. Let's sing these songs. Let's go. So many different events booked too. But yes, a few church things and conferences. Right now I'd be in Portland, which would have been really fun. But yeah, I guess what gives me comfort though, and also peace, is like we're all in the same boat. There's no one's really doing that now, or definitely not here. That no one's really doing live stuff other than the drive-in stuff. But it's kind of crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like such a bizarre time that we're living in.
Do you have any encouragement for? You said we're all home, we're all isolated for this season. Like, do you have any just kind of tactical, practical advice on how to keep your sanity, how to keep your mental health up while you're stuck like this?
I think trying to keep in contact with people. I think so. We can so easily just pull away from people and think, oh, so and so's not contacted me, or they didn't text me back, or they haven't called me. But actually, I think more than ever we need to stay. FaceTime. We've got FaceTime. Years and years ago we didn't have anything like this, and to
Sure.
text, it's like actually wild how we can just FaceTime someone or the other side of the world. So I definitely think that, but also something that's helped me for sure is trying to stay creative too, and and that doesn't necessarily just look like music for me, even though I love writing and but we're all creative beings. And I think there's something so beautiful and stimulating and inspiring when we kind of go back to our childlike self and do the things that we used to love to do and create again, or just get artsy, whether that's like doing a sticker book and you're like 40 years old and that brings you a bit of joy, or making things out of clay, or going on a hike and taking photos and getting a film camera out and capturing something beautiful, or reading a book you've always wanted to read, or make some beats in your room. I don't know, it's like there is actually endless options. And I feel in this day and age we constantly turn to technology, don't we? It's like,
Yeah.
okay, a toddler's crying, let's put an iPad in front of them, or or
Right.
okay, we're bored, let's just scroll and scroll and scroll. Okay, waiting for a bus, might as well just like listen to do you know what I mean? It's so
Sure.
tech heavy, which is brilliant. But I think something that we've maybe lost in ourselves is getting a bit bored and then creating from our boredom.
Yeah.
But instead, when we are bored or low or sad, we just go to technology, and then comparison kicks in, depression, anxious thoughts, all of that. Well, actually, if we went like, oh, what actually makes me come alive? What do I remember doing maybe when I was younger or even now that makes me come alive and gives me maybe vision or hope? And I think that's a good challenge, isn't it?
Yeah.
If you want to paint again, paint. If you want to write, all those sort of things. That's maybe something practical, but yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Talk a little bit about, you said like we want to run to technology. Where's that balance with social media? Like how much, maybe just in your life, like how much social media are you spending time on? Do you take times to like, you know, I'm in a similar way, like creativity is hard to have if you have like your phone with you. So a lot of times I'll try to not have it with me intentionally, but maybe you speak about that.
Totally. Yeah, I know. It's like we're all addicted, aren't we?
Yeah.
It's always in our pocket or right on our table or by our bed. And I think I don't know, I think we're going to be shocked, aren't we, in years to come when they do studies of like, wait, you had a phone like in your back pocket for like 12 hours a day? Are you kidding me? But I don't know, I spend way too much time on my phone. Like when I look at my screen time, sometimes I'm like, are you kidding me, Ellie? You could have done so much. You've got such a long list of stuff to do or like stuff you'd love to do, but you haven't done it and you've been on your phone the whole time. But a lot of it also is, it is practical because you can do emails or you're messaging someone or you're phoning someone or FaceTime and replying to things. But it's addiction. It really is an addiction. That's all it is, isn't it? But I definitely can see, even in young people, I mean, all of us, all ages, like my parents, I look at my parents, I'm like, oh, they're on their phones too. Or like look at my siblings, like, oh, you guys are on your phone when we're watching a movie. You know, we've got like Netflix going on and then you're on your phone. And then it's just like we constantly screen. We want to see a screen.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's tricky. I think the screen time thing's good where you can see and it like shocks you and you're like, oh crumbs, I don't want to do that again. But then you do, and then you're like, oh crumbs, I don't want to do that again. But yeah, I think it's so tough, but it's definitely a massive impact on our mental health for sure, without a doubt. I just think we've got to keep each other accountable too, don't we, and talk about it properly. I don't know, I don't really have any wisdom on that other than it's good and it's bad, for sure.